So the next step is to fill these guys in. And we fill these guys in the same way we filled these guys in on the bottom. Because now we don't want to mess up these. There's no way to put these in without messing these except using the familiar algorithm from the Rubik's Cube. So look for all the non-silver outer edges right here. This will go down here. Now when I do this, it's going to start putting these guys up here, but we just flip them back in. Here, 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 here. Now as soon as I do that, it's going to put this here and this here. So as soon as I do that, we're going to roll them back in. F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. Puts that back in, and immediately do this one. F-I-L-I-U-I-L-U-F. So that did that. Okay, we're going to put this down over here. And immediately put these guys back in. F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. And then this and this. F-I-L-I-U-I-L-U-F. Any more? Yep, this guy over here. This will come to here and bounce this one out. And immediately put these back in. F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. And then this to here. F-I-L-I-U-I-L-U-F. Alright, start moving things back in here. Okay. And lastly, well, no, not quite lastly, this goes here. Alright. Hopefully this won't cause too much carpal tunnel. F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. F-I-L-I-U-I-L-U-F. I think we have one more to go. This guy. Okay. So, where were we? We've got all these guys in place. We put these in place by our algorithm. Now it's a matter of flipping these guys up, as you recall. Now, what we're looking for, according to Megaminx solution, is we want these to have like an arrow shape, and then continue to do our F-R-U, F-I-R-I-U-I, and that'll flip these back up. But we've already seen that we're going to flip these up here too. So we have to be careful to coordinate it to where our last algorithm not only puts these into place, but also flips that. And it's not as complicated as you might think. So over here, we're going to hold it like this, putting it over here to create our arrow shape. F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. Alright, so there's our arrow shape. But obviously if I also flip this over here. So if I turn this here, I'll flip everything up, so all my silvers will be up, but this will still be here. In order to put this back here, it has to be in this position. So what are we going to do? Well, think of this as our mascot. What you want to do is you want to organize it to where you get the arrow formation, but with this up over here. So just sort of resting on top of the arrow. Well, I can do the algorithm again, which will keep the arrow formation and rotate this around. So if I turn it to where I put it where my left arrow tail is over here and I do the algorithm, I'll maintain the arrow shape, but I'll flip this around basically. So by putting it here, that's what'll happen. So I know it's not going to work in this case. Now when I do this, it's going to put this back in, but at least I'll get another arrow. So F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I, as predicted, this went down, but I still have an arrow shape. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same thing, put it on its side, and I'm going to keep doing that until this ends up in the position that I want. So F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. So here's my arrow shape. Now this is over here. Notice I can turn this on the side. Another application of that algorithm, everything is going to be flipped up, and this is going to come down here. So it just took a little bit of reorienting, and what I would have done is, even if this didn't come in at the next step, I would have put it back over here with the left one facing down and did the algorithm again. So F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I, and as predicted, all of my silvers are facing up, and all of my inner edges, all of my outer edges and inner edges are where they're supposed to be. Now it's just a matter of putting them in line, and we know how to do this just by rotating it around. So I want something next to this. I want this blue next to this over here, or I can do it by way of the pink. But if I got to kick this out first, so I'm going to do that algorithm of rotating this once. 1, 2, 3, bang. This isn't touched, and this is rotated in. Somehow that happened. Anyway, now if I hold it like this, these two are going to stay the same. These two are going to rotate around. 1, 2, 3, bang. And one more, I think. 1, 2, 3, zoom. And sure enough, there it is. So predictably, it put everything where I want it. Now the next step is simply solving it the same way that I would solve any Megaminx, circle or otherwise, and that's rotating these up. So I'd refer you to the tutorials there, but basically, just to sum up, you turn it on the side here. You have to rotate this clockwise. So with clockwise, it's going to be R-I, U-I, R-U, R-I, U-I, R-U, brings that up. Move this down, already up. Move this here. This has to rotate counterclockwise, so that's going to be UI, RI, U, R, UI, RI, U, R. And it just happens to work out magically, that everything comes back to where it's supposed to. Now it's a question of putting all these in line. We know how to do that. Move this out, move this down, across and back. That sort of loads it. So I'm going to look for the orange and green center, which is here. Move it in place. And I'm going to look for the beige and pink center. I assume you know this stuff. Down, back, and up. Now I'm going to look for the beige and blue center over here. Move it in. Now the pink and green. I keep saying center, I mean edges actually. I assume you knew that. Here, here, here. And last but not least, blue and orange. Here, here, here. And you have yourself your outer shell. So not too shabby, not too bad. So how do we put in the outer shell? Now I remind you of the Mercury algorithm. And I'm happy to say it's exactly the same. And you will solve this by using that. But I'm sad to say it's going to take a while because it's twice the amount. Now, I will say though that it is fairly easier to move things around here because you have areas that don't really run into each other too much. But you have the right permutation and the left permutation, and I'll post the algorithm. But just to remind you, let's say I wanted to put this in the purple one here. So I can move this to here. So what this algorithm does is it moves this to here, this to anywhere along this plane, here perhaps, and then this back up here. The right one goes here to here, here to anywhere along here, and here to here. So what I'll do is I want to move this purple to this to a blue. Here's a blue over here. And then this red will come up here. So by the end of the algorithm, this purple will be in place, this blue will be in place, and this will be replaced by red. This is the left permutation, and it's exactly the same algorithm. This is going to be L, this is going to be R, this is going to be U, and my D maneuver is going to be here. So it's pretty intuitive in terms of translating from one to the other. So this is going to be L, I, U, L, F, I, L, F, Li, so you can see it's already in here. Then I'm going to just do a D maneuver here. Then finish it up with a L, Fi, Li, F, Li, Ui, and then L, that's in place here, and then just construct it back. So as promised, this is in place, and this is replaced by a red. I'll just move this back. And now it's really following suit. So why don't we do this just to show the right permutation. This will go here, and now see if I can construct put this in the plane. I need to put it to where this can enter this plane here if it's going to do me any good. Now sometimes you just can't do it, but actually it's already in the plane here. So this will come here, this will come here, and this will come here. A three-way. I love those. Don't get those often, but they're nice when you get them. So this is going to be the R, Ui, Ri, F, Ri, Fi, Ri. There's the red. I'm going to do a 2 U at the bottom here. Then it's going to be Ri, Fr, Fi, Ru, and then Ri. This is back in place. And then 1, 2. End result, red is in, white is in, and silver is in. Where's that gray? Who knows? And that's how it is. Now, in order to do the Mercury algorithm, you have to do it where you have a non-fixed, non-bandaged center on the top that's just opposite one that is bandaged and is fixed. So you can either do it from this perspective or turn it upside down and do it from this perspective. And it's a matter of putting it in. And it actually goes a lot quicker than you might think. Nah, who am I fooling? It doesn't go quick. It's a long, arduous process, but it's all part of puzzle solving, and that's what makes it fun. So let's say I wanted to move this into a pink one. Then I can move this up here, here to here, here to, is there a green within this plane? Not so much. Well, yeah, there is here. So I'll just be substituting green for green. A false three-way. R, Ui, Ri, F, Ri, Fi, R, 1, 2, Ri, Fr, Fi, U, bang, zoom, pow, blam. Alright, and that's just what I'm going to do. And you just kind of intuitively put things there. Now, I find that this is easier to reconstruct after deconstructing, easier to find your way home because a lot of these are separated pretty well. All right, so we're gaining some ground here. We're now down to the last 3. 1, 2, 3, actually 4. We're down to the last 4. So here's a blue one we can try to put in. Here, now this has to go to a beige. And beige is already in line, but do we have a beige where we can do a three-way? Well, here's the beige here, but I don't think it's happening. So here to here, here to here. We go 1, 2, boom, boom, boom. R, Ui, Ri, F, Ri, Fi, R, move this here, Ri, Fr, Fi, Ru, here, here. Move that back. So it kind of falls together pretty nicely. I reoriented that beige here. Maybe I can make that make sense. Well, let's do this first. Move this down, move this across, this to here, this to, do I have a blue that I could use? Sure, if I put it here, bang, bang, all right, here, R, Ui, Ri, F, Ri, Fi, here, 1, 2, Ri, Fr, Fi, Ru, here, 1, 2. Alright, find our way home here. And again, as confusing as it might look, I'm just putting things back in an area that makes sense, and things do fall together pretty nicely with this. So what do we got now? I believe we're down to our last 2. This guy and this guy. So we'll move this over here. 1, 2, 3. This will go here. This, we have to put a white one somewhere here by any means necessary so we can end this thing. Now if I can put a white over here, it'll end it, and I can do that from here. But to move it into position, I'm actually going to move it like this. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, puts it there, move it back. So this is a game-ending moment here with the right permutation. So that's going to be R, UI, RI, F, RI, FI, R, but don't worry about that. This comes in here, that's good. Then RI, FR, FI, RU, bring it back, put it in. Just remember this was turned over here. 1, 2. This comes here, and this comes here. And you have solved the Mercury cube, basically using different variations, or the Mercury cube, the Mercury Megaminx, Mercury Megaminx, using basically very similar strategies. Like I say, it's a marathon event, but it's certainly very satisfying once you've solved it. I would say that the other Megaminx of the series you could probably correlate with the other cubes, and I'm not sure that I'm going to need to go through similar tutorials. I might, if so inspired, but for the most part, that's the technique. Thanks.